Are we different a year later, seeing how things were with the exams last year? If those exams were held today, do you think things would be different with seeing the reality on ground with Nigerians and employment and joblessness, basically?
Well, I don't think things will be different. But there's an illusion now. There's a notion I actually want to correct. When we talk about the immigration recruitment, it doesn't mean that the 700,000 Nigerians who put in or who were at the stadium that day are individuals that are not employed. Some actually want, like every Nigerian, they want a greener pasture. And most people will actually prefer a federal government job to a normal everyday private job because they know it gives them the opportunity to do other things. So I believe the 700,000 people are people who feel that they needed, some of them feel that they needed to live where they are going, live there where they have to a better place. Again, so it doesn't in its first shows that the mammoth crowd are unemployed Nigerians. Fine, we have a very difficult figure, statistics on unemployment in Nigeria. But then it now comes to the issue of is it people who are satisfied with the work they are doing, or people who are not employed, or people who who are in the informal sector who wants to cross over to the. So those ones are left to the HR people to decide. However, I think presently now, if such opportunity is also given to Nigerians, I think it's still going to fall back to the same thing. Except, like he said, we diverse another means to ensure that it doesn't have to be physical recruitment process. That's, like he said, technology has made it
JAMB is rising online. Exactly.
Online, so you could have made it online. Even and private sector banks also, they do recruitment, and sometimes you have to online and answer the questions. And if you are picked, fine. If you are not, but the issue is not tampers with competency. It now depends on if the firm or if the organization itself is looking for competent and is looking for people that have actually been, their names have been submitted. Yeah. So if it's about competence, the online will give you competency, actually what the position. But if it's people that their names have been submitted, that's on that ball game entirely.
I know, without necessarily speaking specifically about maybe politics and the issue of this, with the body language of the federal government, do you see them handling this differently if it came up again, maybe with the way the exams will be held? Do you see an honest shift in the way they are thinking if we're going to write an NIX exam again today?
Oh, well, if it happens before March 28th, yes. But after March 28th...
You went there?
No, I'm not serious about it. I'm not even smiling. You see, Nigeria's challenge is sometimes when you see the symptoms, I worry sometimes when you guys attacking the symptoms. These things are fundamental, meaning that you have to change structures in certain things before you can deal with them. So that said, until we know that those fundamental things have been dealt with.
What are those fundamental things?
Well, I mean, when you have cases like, and this might not be necessarily right or wrong, when you have the federal character, or you have to hire a certain group of people and make sure, those are fundamental things that have and when you hear people say it's our turn, the last time the person, didn't complete his administration, all that, those things are fundamental issues, and they contribute to how we make other decisions that are not even necessarily connected. So that is the way I would like to answer that question, and I've answered. I said if it's before March, nothing will change. And yes, there will be change, but if it's after that, I cannot guarantee you.
Are you a little surprised that maybe the opposition isn't using that to their advantage with the campaigns? Because it was a big deal. It was a serious issue. It was poorly handled. The minister is still in government. Do you think the opposition maybe should have used it to their advantage with politics, without necessarily politicizing the death of people?
I think it would be unfair to the PDP or to the ruling party to say categorically that the opposition is not making use of that.
There seems to be a lot more personal attacks as against issues, but go on.
No, that unfortunate incident politically, I think they are. There was a press release yesterday after the president gave out recruitment or employment to families of individuals that were caught between the lines. And there was a press release that the president was trying to make it look political from the APC, and they started the whole political issue with it. To me, I think it's a bit political. We should have let such issue rest, because for people that understand governance, it's not something you can just wake up one morning, give people employment. It doesn't work that way. There is a process. This is civil service, and I think the federal government has done well. The president has done well on making sure fulfilling this promise. We might not be to our own expectation, or we might feel, maybe we should have done better, maybe we should have done it soon enough, or maybe because it's March 28th is called, like my brother said, March 28th is coming up. But it doesn't really depend on if it's March 28th or it's not March 28th. The family of those affected have been compensated. That is the first most important thing. It might not measure up to their loss, but at least they've been compensated.
How important was that compensation? Do you think it helped assuage maybe those who were affected?
It helps a lot. I mean, maybe people that went for the interview were the breadwinners or the prospective breadwinners. So that kind of helps. But I'm not a parent, not yet a parent, but I think there's no pain to cover for a loss of life. And that's why probably BC has not been politicized, because it's also sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that if they make it political, it could work back against them, because people's lives were lost.
Yeah.
So the conversation is okay. I cannot tell you if the amount was good or not. I don't know what yardstick they used to measure but I mean, if you fly in a plane and you die, you know the insurance.
Yeah.
That's attached to that. So
let's talk a little bit more about. I mean, we can't put all the blame on the federal government. We all have a role to play in all of this. Like you said, there's so many fundamental issues with us as Nigerians and the way we think and how we approach things. So let's talk about the young people as well. I mean, it's a year. A year might seem like a long time, but it's also not so just a long time. If those exams were held today, would young people still react in the same way, go for these exams without necessarily caring how their lives are secure? Are we still that desperate? Yes. Have we learned anything from the mishap of last year?
I'll answer your question. You asked two questions. Yes, young people still turn out in large numbers. I know that already. What you need to understand is that a man doesn't have anything to live for. He doesn't have food, doesn't have shelter, cannot afford his next daily bread. There's really nothing to look forward to, so your life might not be that worthwhile to you. So you would come out again and try. If you want to know, I can ask suicide bombers. So I'm not comparing directly, but my point is that yes, they will still come out en masse. Second question was, if I get you right, something about if we've learned anything from this. Well, I don't think so. Why I don't think so is because we have not seen any substantial measures, taken. We've not seen any major shifts around, apart from the compensation and the press conferences here and there. Nothing fundamental has been changed. There's no regulation around employment. There is no, any law that has gone out to say, okay, next time when you have, follow this process. Nothing. It's just probably me and you that are probably talking about it.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel that we haven't learned anything from it.
Before we go now, just very, very quickly, maybe in 2 sentences, if you had Mr. President here today to give him an advice or something on what has happened and what he should do going forward, what would you say to him? Very quickly. On
the immigration first, I would love to see someone like the Minister for Interior sanctioned. They should face the music. It was directly under his watch, and such thing happened, and they should face the music. The president also should work on citizens, Nigerians having to pay for employment. It is preposterous.
It's very widespread.
It is preposterous. And it's not just to the federal government alone. In Ogun State last year, people have to pay up to 10,000 naira to get a job of 40,000 naira. So it's bad. It's something we have to stop. It's really bad.
Manu?
Like I said, he needs to look at the regulations around that. Yes, fundamentals, regulations around that, and let there be principles and possibly laws that go into employment, especially for the civil service, that will benefit people, so that this kind of thing never happens again.
All right. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Thank you very much, Boladale. We'll be having you again sometime soon, hopefully, to talk better things, maybe. We'll be right back with more right here on Urban Minds. Please stay with us.